Okay, so this is going to be the first part of how to do a feature story edit. While we're doing this, I also want you to pay attention to the video that's provided. It's been kind of cut down. Obviously, if you were shooting this, you probably shoot more than what's going to be here. But I didn't want to put too much in there because you have to download it and everything. So I didn't want to put a bunch of extra footage that's not going to actually be used. But this is how you would organize it before you put it into Premiere. So you just come into the operating system of a computer, and it doesn't matter whether it's Mac or PC, but obviously we got Macs at school, so I'm going to show you on Mac. But so what I've done is inside here, I just made folders for the different types of footage. It's a video about a running store. So we had some interviews that we did with the owner and the manager. There's two owners and a manager. And so what I did was, I'm looking here at the 3-column view. See, so these are the different views you have inside a Mac, and then here's the 3-column view. So when you click here and click on this first interview, and you can just see that you can actually even hear the audio.
Renee, tell us your name.
Okay, so there we go. And so I just created a folder and called it interviews, and then as I watched these videos, now it wasn't named this when it came out of the camera, but I'm going through each shot and then I'm giving it a name that means something. So I knew I was going to use this interview first, so I just called it O1 interview. Then this is the other co-owner, and that's O2 interview, and I'm just naming them and getting them ready. I haven't even imported them into Premiere yet. Then I had the stand-ups with the reporter. There's a stand-up at the beginning and a stand-up at the end, and again I'm changing the names here, but I'm using the operating system to organize all this, make the folders and rename the files. Here's the voiceovers that were done, and then here's the B-roll, and I divided the B-roll into B-roll that was, you know, of the runners. You'll see they're just running along here, or there's some shots here of them running. You can see here more shots of them running, and then I did some other B-roll that was actually inside the store. So there's some people inside the store here. There's a big group of people inside the store, and then there's a pan of the whole store. So there's different shots. So I just gave them names that meant something rather than the weird file names that come out from the camera. And then once I created all that, I'm preparing all of this. Notice I got folder for voiceovers, for stand-ups, for the interviews, and I divided B-roll into inside the store where I shot and outside the store, just so I'm not kind of digging around for my shots. I know what I've got here. And then I'm all ready to go. So that's how we do it to get ready before we even open Premiere. Okay, so now I'm ready to import the footage into the project. So I'm just going to come over here, import media to start, just double click. And I'm going to go out to the desktop. Now yours is going to be on your hard drive, but 12 Miles of Christmas. Now I don't want to import all of this stuff, so I'm just going to click on each folder. I'm going to hold down the command key. I don't need this because that's, so I've got the B-roll, I've got the stand-ups, I've got the interview, all the footage folders, and I'm just going to import them. And I'm going to pause the video while this imports because it takes a couple minutes here. Okay, so I'm going to create one more bin here and just right click. I'm going to just call this sequences, which I haven't created yet. So I'm going to go to on my first stand-up shot, which is the first one. If you look at the instructions, it says put the stand-up first. So I'm going to right click, and this is a video shot when I double click it. And to create a sequence, you got to pick one that has video, because if you do audio only, like if I was to use a voiceover shot, it has no video. So when you put it down here, it won't set up the timeline to be video, and then all the videos you put in will be wrong. So you got to use a shot that has video here. So I'm going to use stand-up 1 and right click and say new sequence from clip, and then it makes a sequence with the same name. See, it's called O1 stand-up. So I'm going to click on here and change it to 12 Miles of Christmas, and this is all in the instructions that is on the web page. And then I'm going to drop this in the sequences bin. Okay, and then I'm going to click this clip, and it is the first one, but I want to edit it a little better, so I'm going to take it off. So I've got it loaded over here. So let's pick out the first endpoint, and you just got to listen to it. Okay, and there's a mess up here where he starts talking, but then a baby cries, but then he just goes kind of for take 2 there. So
Ho, ho, ho. It's Christmas Eve. About 6 in the...
okay, now he's just going to start again. And right before he starts, I just back it up till he closes his mouth, mark in, and just let him finish.
Maybe 12 miles.
That's the last line. So mark out. And then I'm going to put this on video 1 and audio 1 and turn off the rest of these. So I'm just editing here. So I'm overwrite. Okay. And that's my first shot. Now Premiere puts the playhead at the end of this, so it's ready to go. Notice it also activates this window, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark in for the next shot. Now the next shot is, we're going to use the voiceover, and this is in the written instructions what comes next. So this tells you this is next, and this is already pre-cut, so you don't have to even add any in and out points. It just starts talking at the right spot. So
Runners Depot open.
So you don't have to even worry. You don't have to even put in and outs here. You just have your in point here. So just overwrite this in, and since it's audio only, it'll lay down just the audio. And again, Premiere puts the playhead right at the proper point. So just go ahead and mark in for the next shot. And the next one, according to the instructions, is the interview number 1. So let's double click that. And again, we have to find, now first, she gets asked what is her name and how to spell it. Do not, under any circumstances, put this in your final feature edit or you will get an F. Read the instructions for the final project and you will see. Okay, so she's going to spell her name and everything.
E-N-E-E-G-R-A-N-T.
Now watch, when he starts recording her, she's standing a little bit out of the frame, so he stops the interview and fixes the frame and then has her do it again. Just watch how that works.
I'm the founding owner of Runners Depot and president.
Okay, looking at Alfred, big smile, and tell us about the 12 miles of Christmas.
The 12 Miles of Christmas is in its 4th year. This is something
See how she
we
leaned out of the
to give
frame?
back to the community.
One more time, but kind of try and stand still.
He tells her to try and stand still, so again.
Okay.
Go for it.
So right before she starts talking,
The 12 Miles of
and then we'll just skip forward because I know the interview.
People love the thought of giving something. The toys all go to Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital, and people came in with droves of toys, and it's been a really wonderful thing. A community all comes together, all the running clubs come together, and it's just a great experience.
Right there, mark out, and then just overwrite that in there. And then again, I keep saying it, Premiere's helping you out, so just mark in for the next shot. The next one is interview 2 right away. So again, he spells his name, so do not put that in this edit or in your own. If you do that, it's an F.
So give us your name, first name, last name, spelling, and your title.
Okay, so he does that.
BBE, and my title is General Manager of Runners Depot.
Tell us how you just came up with the...
Notice how Jay phrases the question. It's a command phrase. He doesn't say, what is your name? He says, tell us what your name is. He commands him to tell us.
The idea of doing a 12 miles of Christmas training run.
One afternoon, Renee and I we were talking. We tell the 3rd year, we said, you know, we really need to do something a little bit bigger, get even more people involved. How about we tell the...
That's too much of a story here.
Customers can get their run in. First year was successful. 2nd year was also successful. By the 3rd year, we said, you know, we really need to do something a little bit bigger, get even more people involved. How about we tell the runners to come in, bring a toy, and that's their entry into doing the 12 miles of Christmas. 6 miles up, 6 miles back, and that's basically how it all came about.
Right there. Mark out. Overwrite. Okay. Now there's another piece that Jay does. Again, it's pre-cut, so no in and out points. Just got the end point marked here. Just lay it in there. Okay. It's just a voiceover only. Then again, mark in immediately and go for interview number 3. Now again, he spells his name. Now you'll see this guy answers the question incorrectly, so he doesn't say it like a soundbite, so Jay stops him and corrects him and gets him to say it the right way. And you should do the same thing in your interviews. If your interviewee just jumps into the middle of an answer, you can't edit that, so you got to kind of help him out a little bit. I'm going to play this whole thing so you get the idea.
Chuck, give us your first name, last name, spell your first name, spell your last name, and then tell us what your title is.
Okay, first name Chuck, last name Kirsch, last name K-I-R-S-C-H, co-owner of Runners Depot.
And tell us some of the challenges to put on a race like this.
Logistics, I would think, is important because of the course. It's.
Do me a favor, start that again and say some of the biggest challenges are of putting on a race like this is.
Logistics.
No, say that.
So
Now he gets it right.
some of the biggest challenges are.
Okay, so let's back that up.
Logistics.
No, say that.
Mark in.
Some of the biggest challenges are logistics, having people at the right location, directing people, having enough water at the water stops and gels, and making sure we don't have a traffic congestion because there's over 350 people came today.
Yeah, so that's good. Mark that in. Now we come back to Jay's final stand-up. And let's get the final stand-up number 2 here. And let's see where he picks it up here.
Now,
Just using the left arrow key to back it up. And close his mouth there a little bit. Mark in. And then skip down to the end.
for multimedia production, I'm Jay Sandhouse. Happy holidays, everyone.
Right there, mark out and lay that in with the overwrite. Just hitting the backslash key so we can see the whole thing. And now we've created a radio edit. Now I would suggest that you go back to the beginning and just play it so you can see that it's a radio edit. You hear everything working out just fine audio wise. Don't try to pay too much attention to the video. Now I'm not going to play it back because you can do that on your own. And now we're going to lock these two tracks when we're done, and we will move on to the next part of the edit. Okay, so the next part of the edit is to add a B-roll here. So we're going to go to the end of Jay's stand-up because we're going to keep him on camera. Go ahead and mark in there. Now I'm going to skip down. I'm just going to hit the down arrow key to jump to the next part of the edit here, which is her. So remember, I'm going to have her on camera for at least a few seconds. So I'm just mark out here to see how much B-roll I need to put in there. And it's 15 seconds. So if I find 3 5-second shots, I can cover this up. And again, I'm just going to divide this visually into thirds. So I'm going to hit the plus key on the keyboard to zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to come in here and just visually make it to be about a third and mark out. And I'm going to turn all this off. And I'm only going to edit on the video 2 track. Okay. Now I'm going to close up the interviews and the stand-ups and even the sequences and the voiceovers because I've done with all that. And he's talking about the store, so I'm going to use just the store B-roll. So let's see what he says here.
Runners Depot opened their doors in Davie, Florida in September of 2000. Since then, Renee Grant, the founding owner, has opened...
Alright, so there's just some shots of the store. So let's see what we get here. Let's do them signing in here. So let's see what this... I'm just dragging through the shot to see what I've got to work with. So I've got him signing here. So I'm just going to mark in, and I've already got in and out here. So just overwrite. And then I'm going to mark in again, and again just take about half of what's left between here and mark out. And I've got a close-up of him signing. Sign in, a close-up of the hands. So just get him signing in, just mark in and then overwrite again. And then I gotta do one more shot, so mark in and snap to here and mark out. And I just need to find a shot of them. I've just got these ladies sort of milling around. And that's okay. I'll stick with that. Mark in and lay that shot down. So now instead of just having nothing there when Jay finishes talking, we cut to those shots. So let's just take a quick look.
Depot to run, I don't know, maybe 12 miles. Runners Depot opened their doors in Davie, Florida in September of 2000. Since then, Renee Grant, the founding owner, has opened 4 more stores. However, Davie has remained the flagship location.
Now we're just going to cut to her, and we're going to leave enough time to put up her name, so we're just there's no set time for that, but it's probably 3 to 5 seconds, so let's just go.
The 12 Miles of Christmas is something that we developed 4 years ago
2003,
to give back to the community, to bring people out to
2005,
celebrate.
just stop right about there. So that's plenty of time to put up her graphic. So I'm going to mark in there. I'm just going to slide down here a little ways. Okay, and go here to where the next interview starts and mark out. Now this is the amount of space I need to fill with B-roll. So it's 35 seconds, it's almost 36 seconds, but just for easy math, let's say it's 35. So it's, if you divide by 5 seconds each, it's 7 5-second shots. And again, he's talking, let's see what he's talking about.
Celebrate the holidays,
well, what she's
get
talking
in the
about.
long run before they pig out on all of their
And
holiday
she's talking
food.
about the store, and then she's talking about toys. So again, we're in the store. So let's do the store. Let's pan the store here. Let's see what this is. It's a nice shot here. So again, just mark in here. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to go forward 5 seconds. So I hit go over to the numeric keypad and test +5 and then period and then enter and mark out. So you see that's 5 seconds in one frame. So let's drop that in there and then in and then +5 dot enter, mark out. Let's fuck another shot. Let's get lady runners in the store. We already used that one. So here's a small group of people here. I'll pick it up here at the beginning of this camera move, mark in, and overwrite that one in, and then mark in, +5 dot enter, mark out. This will be the third shot. Let's take the, see what if she's talking about the toys yet here, hold on.
And toy in exchange for.
Okay.
So we asked everyone to bring us a toy.
So the toy. So let's go to our first toy shot. This is so let's put somebody putting a toy in there. So let's pick it up where he's actually making the move to put the toy there. So he sort of presents it a little bit right there. So back it up a couple frames right there. And lay that in there and see how that came out.
2 years ago, we asked everyone to bring us a toy in exchange for a free technical shirt that Brooks, our.
Okay, so let's put another toy shot in there. So let's mark in and +5 dot enter, mark out. Let's do another toy shot. We got a pan of the toys. Let's pick it up after the camera's starting to move here, right there. Drop it in. And then mark in, +5 dot out. Now we got another even closer shot of the toys here. And since we're running everything kind of right to left here, we're going to start this one here and finish it here. So let's just go here and shoot that one in there. And we'll just do something fun with this one. We'll come here to speed duration. And we'll just run this shot in reverse.
That year and doubled in size this year. People love
That's going to have to render. So mark there, +5 dot. Oops, I had that one selected, so we'll undo that. And +5 dot. Mark out, and then we got 2 more shots to put, so let's hear what she's talking about here.
Hospital, and people came in with droves of toys.
Okay, I'm kind of out of toy shots here, so let's look for our big group. And then to the end here, turn to the next part before the next guy talks and mark out. That's our last shot. So let's see what we got here. Let's have them tagging the numbers here on their uniform. Starts tighter and then makes a little zoom out. So
with droves of toys, and it's been a really wonderful thing. A community all comes together, all the running clubs come together.
I really like all that movement back and forth, so let's just mark that clip and pick a better part after all those camera moves right about there, and just overwrite it back in. Okay, alright, so let's save, Command S. Now we're going to leave him up for about another 5 seconds, so let's start him playing.
One afternoon, Ray and I
1001,
were talking in
1002,
the office about doing something
1003,
for Christmas Eve, like a
1004,
run, just to try to get back to the
1005,
community.
stop, mark in. Then I'm just going to go down to where, and I'm going to carry it through here and then through all the way here to where he comes up and mark out. So I've got 46. So just for easy math, let's just say that it's 45. So 9 times 5 is 45. So I need 9 shots in here. So again, I'm going to come here and I'm going to go +5 dot and mark out. And now he's starting to talk about runners. So let's go up here to our running shots. And let's start off with this close-up of feet running through. Let's pick it up when they're actually in the shot, so we're not sitting there waiting for something to happen. And let's put that one in, and then +5 dot enter, mark out. And then let's get the ladies getting water. Oh, let's get one more running shot before they're getting water. You gotta do something before they get thirsty. And overwrite. Oh, I didn't have enough space there. So then we'll go in here and then we'll go show them getting water. And +5 dot enter. So +5 dot enter, mark out. And come to where they're getting the water here. Mark in and overwrite. Then in +5 dot enter, mark out. So that's another 5 seconds here. Then we have, let's do this wide shot. Gotta get him close enough to actually be part of the shot here. Remember, we're not taking any of this audio. Okay, and then in +5 dot enter to move it forward 5 seconds. And let's get again right here, mark in and overwrite. And then in +5 dot enter, mark out. So I'm getting some snacks now maybe. And overwrite. And +5 dot enter. Mark out, and we got maybe another 2 or 3 shots to do, so let's get this shot here. I'm just picking random shots here. They're waving. That's a nice shot actually. In +5 dot enter, out, and then one more +5 and come down to where this guy is saying his little piece here, and mark out, and this will be the last shot of this, and we'll get it's a nice shot here too. Okay, let's save. Okay, so now we're just going to skip down here. Now he says his little piece and we want to give him up for 5 seconds. So
some of the biggest challenges are logistics,
1003,
having people at the right
1004,
location,
1005.
directing people.
So mark in there, and we're going to fill it up till Jay's stand up here. So this is not too much here. So we're mark out. So he's only got 8. So we're going to split this in half and do 2 shots. So we'll do 1 here, mark out, and then 1 final shot from here to where Jay wraps it up. Let's try to get 1 more shot we haven't used. Man, let's actually finish it up with a shot inside the store, and there's a pan of the big group of people here. Start there and wrap it up with that nice group shot and save. Okay, so now you can go back and play the whole timeline. Now you can play your own, so I'm not going to take it all the way through this in the tutorial video. But the next thing we do is we're going to lock this up. So the next thing that we're going to do is add the graphics here. So we go ahead and lock the video 1 track and the video 2 tracks, and we're going to come up here and to Jay. He's right here, so we're going to add in his graphic. Now the way we can do this, I'm going to go to the graphics setup. So come up here to the top of the screen and click on that, and that puts us into the graphic look here. Okay, now I can use one of these templates. If I come in here in my templates and I hit browse, and then I come in here and I type lower, I can use, and hit return, I can use one of these lower thirds that are sort of pre-made. You can, like this, I can drop this on here and have this come in like this. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on here. And then you can see it. And then if you click on it, you can come in here and just change it like this. So J Sandhouse. I can't seem to type a capital J for some reason. And then here it would be FIU reporter. Okay. And then that changes to what his name is, and it has a little animation to it here, so this, if you just play it, it'll play back that way. But now that I've got this, I don't have to recreate it every single time. So now I'm just going to go back to my editing mode here, and I'm going to hit the backslash key so I can see everything. And instead of recreating this, I'm just going to get on my move tool. I'm going to hold down the option key, and I'll just drag this down, and it'll make a copy. And drag it down to the part where the next person is, and if you click on it and go back to your graphics mode again, and if you click on it, you'll see it says actually says her J again, but it's a new instance, so you can say Jane Smith. That's not her name, but we're just using it, and we're gonna say founder runners depot. Okay, you'll see it changes to that. Okay, and then we can just hold down the option key again and drag this down to the next guy, and when it gets to him, again we click on it, and he's, I'm going to just call him Dan Smith. And I'm going to call him, he's not the founder, but he's the owner. No, actually he's manager. Okay. Okay. And then if we scroll down a little bit more and hold down option and drag this one to here, and we come to this one, and this guy is Bruce Simmons. I'm just making that up, and he is co-owner Runners Depot. Okay, so when we get to him, and this we have to trim up a little bit because it actually goes into the next graphic, so I'm just going to shorten it up a little bit there. So now I'm just going to go back to my editing mode here, and I'm going to hit the backslash key so I can see everything. And instead of recreating this, I'm just going to get on my move tool. I'm going to hold down the option key, and I'll just drag this down, and it'll make a copy, and drag it down to the part where the next person is. And if you click on it and go back to your graphics mode again, and if you click on it, you'll see it says actually says her J again, but it's a new instance, so you can say Jane Smith. That's not her name, but we're just using it, and we're going to say founder runners depot. Okay, you'll see it changes to that. Okay, and then we can just hold down the option key again and drag this down to the next guy, and when it gets to him, again we click on it, and he's, I'm going to just call him Dan Smith, and I'm going to call him, he's not the founder, but he's the owner. No, actually he's manager. Okay. Okay, and then if we scroll down a little bit more and hold down option and drag this one to here, and we come to this one, and this guy is Bruce Simmons. I'm just making that up. And he is co-owner Runners Depot. Okay, so when we get to him, and this we have to trim up a little bit because it actually goes into the next graphic, so I'm just going to shorten it up a little bit there. So there we have it. So now I'm going to show you how to create graphics if you don't have these pre-made graphics available, which may not be available at FIU. And the way you do that is I'm just going to go back, just take this one off, and just go back to the beginning here, take this one off for J, and this is where we are. So what we can do here is, notice I'm parked at the beginning of J here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up to here to graphics, and I'm going to go to new layer and tell it to be a new text, and I'll put it right in the center of the screen here. And this is where I can create the look that I want. So just double click J Sandhouse. Okay, and then I can come over here and change the type of text it is. So let's say that I'm gonna do Arial. And let's do Arial bold. Okay, so let's make him be, double click him here and just select the whole thing, and let's change him to Arial bold. And then I can just grab the move tool and put this over where I want it to be, and then I can move to make it be whatever size I want, just grabbing the box. Now I'm going to come down here, I'm going to add a stroke to it, just make it be black. Put the stroke about a 2 or 3. I can just click in here and just type 2. And let's make it a 3. And then I'm going to put a drop shadow on it, make the drop shadow black. And make it be 100% opaque. Maybe slightly farther off, like maybe a 10. Okay, so that's nice and visible. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm going to put what he is. So I'm just going to come here and delete this layer. Just clear. I'm going to take this name that I've already created, so I don't have to reinvent the wheel, and duplicate it. So now that I've got this one, I can actually click on it and drag this one down. And this is where I'm going to use the text tool again and just double click, get in here, make sure I select the whole thing, and just type FIU reporter. And then I use this to make it maybe a little smaller and line it up. And then I'm going to create a new piece here, which is going to be a rectangle. And the rectangle comes out, and I'm just going to turn it into a nice skinny little line here. And I'm going to click on it very carefully and move it down as a dividing line between these two. May have to stretch it out just a little bit more. And then, of course, I'm going to have to select it and go to the color of this one. This is the line. This is the shape. So I don't want the fill to be gray, I'll make it be white. And again, I'll put a little stroke on it. I'll put a drop shadow on it. Okay, make the drop shadow be black, just so it stands out a little bit more. Make it be 100% opaque. And do the offset at 10 also, like I did the other one. So we have this nice little piece here. Okay, so this is now Jay's graphic. Now again, just like we did the other one, once we've created this, we don't have to reinvent the wheel again. So just hold down the Option key and drag this down, make a copy. I'm just going to go zoom out a little bit here. Drag this down to Renee, where she is. Okay, and then all I have to do is just get back on the text tool, just double click in here, select the whole name, and when I say Susan Smith, and she's double click and click again and select owner Runners Depot. Okay, you get the idea. And I may have to adjust this slightly, move back just a little bit there. Okay, then again, hold down Option, make another copy, go down to the next guy, take off the old one here, put it here, and get the text tool. This is Bruce Smith. And then he's manager. Runners Depot. Okay, so you see the idea. And then once, of course, you save, Command S, and then you export it. Okay, so let me go back to the editing mode here, and we're pretty all set up to export and put it up to YouTube and up to your site. Okay.